Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. My lords here present, Leonard Silks, seniors, esteemed colleagues. Thank you for joining us on another TMT webinar series. We are glad you took the time to be here again today. It's another Thursday, and we're sure you keep coming because you're getting value for your time. We really appreciate that. So it's another episode. And today, again, we are very privileged to have the chairperson of the MBA section on legal practice, Mrs. Flashade Ali SAN, on the call with us today. She has been attending virtually all our sessions, and it's been a very humbling experience. We love to see her beautiful faces. And our welcome remarks are always very, very gingering, I want a better word. So Leonard Silk, once again, please would love to hear from you again.
Thank you very much, Damilola, and good afternoon to all my learned colleagues that have joined us today and to our speakers who have taken time out to join our weekly series, the SLP TMT series that's been organized by the Media and Entertainment Committee of the Technology, Media, Telecommunications Law Committee of the NBA-SLP. I can't thank you, Damilola and Marcus Ferdinand, for all that you continue to do, organizing this series. It's really commendable. The theme for today, I read it and I thought, wow, digital media, streaming and litigation risks, commercial disputes over streaming rights, royalties and distribution agreements. I just thought, how do you guys, keep coming up with all these really significant and relevant areas of entertainment law in Nigeria? So thank you once again to Fernandez Marcus-Obiene, the chairman of the TMT committee, and Damilola and all your committee members for delivering sessions that are not for me only timely, but I think relevant to the evolving practice that all of us are the area we're in. Digital economy definitely is rewriting how we engage, and transformation is definitely one of the key areas that people in the media and entertainment space are facing. And I guess all of the lawyers here are looking to seeing how this, there's an interplay between intellectual property, drafting of contracts, and dispute resolution mechanisms, which I think is the reality of where we are today. So it's really a privilege to have Ms. Jumai Fabuyi and Mr. Terry Wellington, whose expertise in the media and commercial litigation speaks volumes. I can't wait to hear both of you and to see how I can also garner some experience from your wealth of expertise. So thank you once again for taking time out to enrich and to give back to all of us. Just before I hand over to Damilola, I would like to remind all of you that the section on legal practice annual conference is round the corner. We have exactly 40 days to go. Early bird is closing this week. I strongly encourage that you take advantage of it. We're working tirelessly to ensure that our conference is amazing and that you not only get to network, but you get to see what is evolving and the evolving trends that we are all going through in our era. So please, the registration link will be sent in the chat box by our able administrator, Fadekemi. Please register if you haven't done so. It's at National Theatre in Lagos, and I can assure you it's a conference you'll remember. So please join us, and I encourage everyone to please listen attentively as I hand over back to Damilola. Thank you once again for joining, and I wish all of us an intellectually rewarding afternoon. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leonard Silk. Thank you for your very kind words. Thank you so much. And once again, please, our esteemed participants, I'm sure in the course of the session, the admin will post the registration link for the conference in the chat box. Please keep your eyes open. Early bird, I think it's just 3 days before the close of early bird. You want to take advantage of that and save some money, and we look forward to seeing you in Lagos. And for those who are yet to be members of the section on legal practice and you are here because you paid well, why don't you just save some money and join the NBA-SLP? We do this every week. And we're not the only committee in the section. So you can imagine the amount of goodies you will enjoy when you become a registered member of the MBA section on legal practice. So please join the section, register for the conference. And I would also want to, on behalf of the chairman of the committee, Fernandez Marcus-Obiene, appreciate our media and entertainment subcommittee, ably led by Henry Rita Chindal. Oh, they've been doing, all our committees have been doing really fantastically well. We've had, like Larry said, very amazing sessions. So the subcommittees are the ones who come up with this topic. So we hold all the credit to them. So thank you to Rita and her team. And yes, Mr. Wellington, we're ready for you. And the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Oluwadamilola.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Leonard Silk, judges of the Court of Appeal, the High Court, Leonard seniors, and colleagues. I greet you all very warmly. My name is Terry Wellington, and I will be your moderator for today. I will begin by reading out the brief profile of our speaker for today. Her name is Ms. Jumai Fabuyi Adedoja, and she is, permit me to use the word, an erudite when it comes to, an erudite practitioner when it comes to the topic for today. So Ms. Jumai Fabuyi is a graduate of the Faculty of Law, University of Lagos. She's also a graduate of the Nigerian Law School. And from the Nigerian Law School, she proceeded to the University of Illinois, USA, where she has an LLM. She is a partner at Future Attorneys, a law firm based in Lekki, Lagos, which has done and still does quite a lot of entertainment and related cases. She has worked with a lot of artists, including Shei Vibes, which I assume many of us know, especially the Gen Zs and millennials among us. She has worked with Wonder Banton, Burna Boy, and quite a number of other artists. So aside activities in the law firm and strictly law areas, she is also a director in Scar Radio. Scar Radio is based in Lagos, the UK, and the USA. Sky Radio does a lot, which I believe she will tell us more about. So I believe that summary is fine enough. We will get to hear more about the speaker from the speaker herself. And interestingly, too, the speaker was my classmate at the University of Lagos. So it's a very interesting session. I would want to hear from her, learn from her on a medium other than a personal one. So, Jumai.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Leonard Silk, judges, my colleagues here, senior and
Your video is not on.
contemporaries.
Do you mind?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Like I said, I've been trying to extend my screen, but it's not letting me, except if it looks like I'm not going to be able to share my screen if I turn on my video on my end. Just give me a minute. Okay, while I'm trying to figure that out, though. Yeah, like Terry said, I am a partner at Future Attorneys, a law firm that represents some of the biggest names in the Nigerian music industry. I did not stumble into entertainment law. It was kind of like something I always wanted to do. So having to do this feels like second nature to me. And I am very grateful for this platform. I'm grateful that the NBA and the SLP are making sure that this is becoming a very a huge foundation. Let me say it as a huge foundation because at the time when I was called to the bar, it wasn't this popular. But now I'm grateful that there's like a lot of us more. Hi Rita, I don't know if she's here for some reason. Rita and I know ourselves because we were sitting on opposite sides of the table about a matter. So when I saw her, I was like, oh, that's Rita. Nice to have you here again. Honorable Seal, my laptop is not letting me put on the camera at the same time. Can I ask for
Yes.
permission to turn on my camera after my presentation?
No problem.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So, just by a show of hands, I just want to see like emojis and all of that. I want to ask a question. How many of us have streamed a song this morning or today at all? Oh, by the way, I am currently in the United States, so it is 8 a.m. my time, 8:11 my time. I woke up at maybe 5 o'clock and I have listened to an album this morning. So if I've listened to anything this morning, can we just like thumbs up or something? None of that. Mm. Okay, see. Okay. Um, we all know the streaming platforms that we have: Spotify, Apple Music, AudioMark, uh, YouTube, Amazon, anywhere. Streaming is streaming. Maybe sometimes radio, not so much in Nigeria. Um, you know, for every single time that we listen to one song or two or any amount, do we have an idea how much the artist got, especially in Nigeria? Can we tell? Let me for the purpose of the younger people on this meeting, I'm going to be a bit informal. So I'll just say W's in the chat if you know how many if you know how much an artist earns from, listening to or from you listening to one of their songs. Can you like put it in the chat so if you like have an idea how much they gain or how much they could be possibly making, no? Okay. So here's the thing. In Nigeria, it is a hardball. It is quite it's quite hit or miss for Nigerian artists, mostly because we don't have okay, I know what I'm gonna do now. I'm sorry. Mostly because we don't have proper collection societies in Nigeria. We kind of like just, move around um with a bit of informality about everything in Nigeria, but thankfully, well, all of that is changing now. I'm seeing that people are saying they don't have an idea how much people are making. Um, it is not a lot, if we're being very sincere. It is not a lot. We see that there have been a lot of back and forth about making sure artists gain exactly what they deserve in Nigeria. And I am glad again that these things are making waves outside of um, traditional litigation. Okay, so let's move. Um, just give me a minute. Um, can you guys see my slides? Can you still see it?
No, no, it's gone.
Oh. Um, totally. Just give me a minute, please. Okay. Mm. How about now?
Yes, it is back. It's back now.
All right, cool. Okay, cool. So, um, the streaming gold rush. So these are the numbers that keep you up at night. I mean, it keeps me up at night. Or I mean, it makes you decide that you know what, you're going to switch up your your career, and I'm not doing commercial law anymore. I want to go into entertainment law. Um, you know, you look at 69% of global recorded music revenue comes from streaming, and you're thinking 69% is a wild number because you would not expect that all of your music money will just come from somebody in Ebute Meta listening to a song, or somebody in the UK, or somebody in the US, or wherever else they might be. It comes from people just, from the tap of their phones, from the tap of their tablets, from their internet, just a simple gesture would make 69% of global recorded music revenue. And if you sit down to look at the next number, which says 58 billion naira has been earned by Nigerian artists on Spotify alone in 2024. And we're seeing 2,700% increase since 2018. Those numbers are ridiculous because you're thinking, how well, you won't think it anyway, because we see all of these guys, especially during Christmas. We see their money, we see their cars, we see their houses, we see their doings. It means that out of every single dollar the music industry earns from recorded music, not concerts, not merchandise, not brand deals, just the music itself, roughly 70 cents of that comes from streaming platforms, so Spotify, Apple, and the likes. These numbers come from the International Federation of Phonographic Industry. They're a global body that tracks how much the music business earns every year. Their reports confirm that streaming has completely overtaken physical sales like CDs and all those vinyl records, and has also overtaken digital downloads. So in 2010 or 2008, 2009, I mean, some of us that used what's that phone now? Nokia Music Express. Or is it called Music Express? I don't know. We used to download songs from not just OK.com and what's the other one now? Something not loaded.com or something like that. You download the song, you leave it on your phone, and then you listen to it as often as you want to. However, now we don't bother to download anymore. Um, Remember when we used to buy songs on iTunes as well? Or when you go to Alaba Market to buy your CDs for 200 naira? That era is effectively over. And what does this mean for lawyers? It means that if your client is a musician or a producer or a songwriter or even a record label executive, the single most important revenue stream they have for their recorded music would be streaming. And if you do not understand how streaming contracts and royalties and calculations and platform rules work, you will be advising them blindly. To be a total case of the blind leading the blind, because like it or not, these are clients, most of them don't bother to know what is going on. They just want to sing. I've had clients tell me, "Oh, I just want to sing. You can just deal with the others." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm trying to share something with you. You need to understand this," but they don't want to listen to you. So I'm just giving you guys career alerts, just in case you're still wondering if you want to do this. I hope that this convinces you enough that there is money in the music industry. There is crazy growth in the music industry. There is absolutely a lot to learn and to do in the music industry. Let's bring it home. In 2024, Nigerian artists now, the shift for them, and that's why we're saying this 58 billion naira number, was for them to now, a lot of them was for them to cross the borders, and make money outside of Nigeria. It will give you a context on why you are seeing these kind of numbers, because in 2018, compared to what we have in 2024, was roughly 10 million naira alone that they made from Spotify. Oh, by the way, this 58 billion is from just one platform, just Spotify. Now, if your parents or your uncles or your colleagues are saying, "Oh, why are you doing entertainment law instead of oil and gas?" Please just carry this slide and show it to them and say, because the music streaming industry in Nigeria alone grew 2,700% in 6 years. So let them go and look for an oil well that did that same thing, get that. But 58 billion sounds like a lot, but the reality is this. If you divide it across thousands of artists, deduct the distributors' cut, deduct the label share, you factor in exchange rates and account for all the money that leaks through all manner of bad decisions, bad metadata, broken systems. The individual artist often sees just a fraction of what you would expect. And that is where we, the lawyers, now come in. This growth has also led to a lot of litigation and disputes. So the growth is driven by a few things. There's more affordable smartphones. There's better internet. There's data that you need to buy to stream, even though it's still painful. And then we know how Afrobeats just exploded all of a sudden with artists like Wizkid, Burna Boy, David, Ashake. Everybody's streaming all of those people now. But the fact that their music crossed the borders have brought about a lot of disputes. So you're using a one-size-fits-all Nigerian contract to talk to a distributor in Europe or in America. It will not work. First of all, they've been making money from all of this way before we joined the party. So they know hidden stuff that we then have to catch up with. So as soon as all of this explosion happened, a lot of disputes started happening. And that is where you now have to follow the money, So now I know some of us in this room, we already know how royalties work, but I have learned from representing artists that even experienced music industry professionals sometimes get confused by this. So let me break it down in the simplest possible way, because this is the foundation for understanding every dispute we are going to discuss today. Think of it this way. Every time someone presses play on a song, it triggers a chain of financial transactions that most people, including most artists, never think about. So I'm going to walk you through that chain, excuse me. It starts with you. You open your Spotify, you open your Apple Music, you press play. That single press of play button triggers everything. Every time you stream a song for at least 30 seconds, it counts as one stream. You don't have to finish the song. 30 seconds is good for the platform. That stream generates a tiny amount of revenue, and I mean very tiny. And then, maybe a fraction of a cent. Maybe like, what's a cent now to Naira? Maybe like a fraction of a kobo, Here's where it gets interesting. The platform, or let me say, here's where the legal issues arise. Most major platforms use what we call a pro rata payout model. A pro rata payout model it means all the subscription money from all users is pulled together into one giant pot. Your individual 1,300 naira for Nigerian Spotify subscription. It does not go to only the artist you listen to. It goes into a shared pool. Then the pool is divided based on total streams across the entire platform globally. So if Drake or maybe Taylor Swift, for instance, got 5% of all global streams that month, they get 5% of the entire pot, even from your own 1,003 subscription money. Are you guys following? Please, I'd like to see in the chats that you guys are understanding the foundation I'm trying to lay here. So even if you never listen to a single Drake or a single Taylor Swift song, they're still getting your money just because what? You subscribed. Now, if you streamed only maybe Sheyi Vibes all month, for instance, well, too bad. Your money will still go into the pot for Drake. So that's what the prorated the model is. So everybody gets money from everybody. Now, there's an alternative called the user-centric model, where your subscription money goes to the artists you actually listen to. So for a platform like Deezer, it's a French platform. It's been testing this type of model. Studies showing that it benefits smaller and mid-tier artists more significantly, because then their fans are able to actually give them the money that they deserve. So I have people that are listening to one particular artist for 1 month. I mean, everybody saw at the end of last year how we're seeing people's Spotify drops, and they're showing us how long some people listen to one song. And I'm seeing people have 4,000 something and something minutes. And we're like, what do you do all day? Do you just listen to music all day? You know, but the major labels resist this type of model because, it reduces their shares. So for now, the pro rata data model, dominates. And this is a fight that is still playing out. So now, how 1 naira gets split in 8 ways. So after pulling that money together, the platform pays out to the right holders. And I noticed I said right holders, not the artists. Now, this is a very critical distinction because many people miss this. A right holder is whoever legally owns or controls the music. So it could be a record label, it could be the distributor, it could be a publisher, it could be the artists themselves if they are independent. Now, here's how 1 naira in streaming revenue works in Nigeria and why lawyers end up fighting over fractions. The platform keeps its share first. Roughly 30 to 35% goes to the platform itself. Then the remaining 65 to 70% goes to the rights holders. Now, the distributors takes their cut next. So we have companies like TuneCore, we have companies like DistroKid, we have companies like Empire Distribution, we have Azuri, all of these platforms, all of these distributors. They typically take between, 15% to 30% of whatever an artist makes. Then if the artist is signed to a record label, the label then takes his own share. And then this is where many Nigerian artists lose the most money, because standard recording contracts with major labels can give the label anywhere between 50% to 80% of whatever is left. I mean, it is what it is. So out of the original 1 naira, the platform kept 35 kobo. The distributor took maybe 10 kobo. The label took 40 kobo. And the artist is left with maybe 15 kobo. And we have not even talked about the artist's management team. So we see people are signing management contracts that the managers will tell you, oh, I'll take 20% of whatever money you make. So the producers come as well, oh, I'm entitled to 15% of whatever money you're making from this. The songwriters, publishers as well. So your 1 naira as an artist is split in 8 ways already. So that makes you wonder what are these people even earning from all of these streaming numbers? Like can you guess what, say, maybe like 1 million streams pays out on Spotify in Nigeria, just in Nigeria? So if maybe an artist like Ashake he drops a song and then in the first day you say, oh, you made 1 million streams in the first day of release, how much do you think that 1 million stream earns them? So for Spotify, you're saying on this thing, you're saying 1,600 to 4,800 naira for 1 million streams. So 1 million streams means that 1 million times somebody played that song at least 30 seconds. Do you guys understand the maths? So now, all of that is still paying out less than 5,000 naira at the current Nigerian rate. On Apple Music, maybe between 4,000 to 6,000, Typically Apple pays a bit more per stream. So if you've ever heard of stream farming, I hope this explains why. This is why people go and stream farm so that they can try to make more money. On YouTube, roughly 400 to 1,200. YouTube is the lowest paying one because of most listening happens on free. I don't pay for YouTube. I already said I was never going to pay for YouTube. So if they like, they should show me 15 million adverts. I'm going to watch it anyway and wait for it to finish before I'm not going to pay for it. Now, these are the rates for Nigerian territory streams. Now, international streams pay significantly more. A million streams from the US or the UK could pay you at maybe like 20 times more than what a million stream will pay you in Nigeria. Same song, same artist, completely different revenue. That is the exchange rate problem in action. I remember these numbers are before the distributors got to. So before the label share, before the manager, before producers, the artist might see 10 to 20% of even these small numbers. Now, let's talk about the types of royalties. This is the part that trips off everyone. There's a part where lawyers don't even understand. Some lawyers, at least. When a song is streamed, it does not generate just one type of royalty. It generates two separate royalties. The first one is the master royalty, also called the recording royalty. So this is where the money paid for this is the money that is paid for the actual sound recording, the specific performance you hear when you press play. Who sang it, who produced the beats, what the mix sounds like, all of those things. Now, this goes to whoever owns that recording. I mentioned rights holders. So whoever owns it, this is the money that goes to them, which is typically the record label or distributor. But if you're an independent artist that put out your song by yourself, I don't know on what platform, you might get all of it. Now, the second is the publishing royalty. It's also called the compositional royalty. It's the money that is paid for the underlying musical composition. So the melody, the lyrics, the chord progression. So even if 10 different artists, cover the same song, the person who wrote it gets a publishing royalty. So every time somebody writes a song for you, or the person that did the production work and all of that, they are entitled to this type of royalty. So this goes to the songwriter, goes to the music publisher, and it is collected through organizations called performing rights organizations or collective management organizations. I mean, in the US, you have ASCAP, you have BMI, you have PRS in the UK. In Nigeria, we are supposed to have COSON and MCSN. If you have been on the internet in the past couple of weeks, you would have seen the back and forth between, music executives and these collection societies in Nigeria. Now, here's one key takeaway I need you to know. One song with two royalties. And most Nigerian artists, especially those who are both the performer and the songwriter, do not realize that they are entitled to both. So many of them are only collecting one. That uncollected publishing royalty, that is money sitting on the table. And it is your job as the lawyer to get it. Right? It is your job as the lawyer to get it. So this is where the battles are happening. Now that we understand how that money flows, let us talk about where things go wrong. I have identified 4 major dispute zones on this slide that are generating the most litigation, the most controversy, and the most billable hours in the streaming ecosystem right now. So in the first zone, we have streaming rights and licensing. At its core, this is about one question: who owns what, and who gave permission to who, basically. So for a song to legally appear on a streaming platform, the platform needs a license, so legal permission from the rights holder. But this is what actually happens in practice. The song ends up on the platform without proper licensing. So a distributor uploads music they no longer have the right to distribute. A former manager uploads an artist catalog after the contract has ended. The licensing is technically in place, but the terms are unclear about which territories are covered. So Here's a real pattern I see all the time. An artist signs with a Nigerian distributor, thinking the deal covers Nigeria only, but the distributor then uploads the music globally. The song starts trending on playlists in the US, in the UK, in Germany. The artists discovered that their music is generating revenue in markets they never authorized, but the distributor is collecting all the international money. That is a licensing, like, nobody licensed you, but you own it because, I mean, first of all, you're the one that put it there. But this artist signed only Nigerian territory. Now, the artist did not get a lawyer that is on this call right now that knows that you need to sign something that says it covers a worldwide territory. And like, best believe that up till now, in big 2026, we are still facing this. So I have seen cases where Afrobeats artists, well, in fact, I've seen a case where one artist's song was licensed for Africa only distribution, and then it appeared on global playlists, generated over $2 million in streams, and the artist got paid zero of the international streams because the territory clause in their agreement was poorly drafted. Maybe let's not say poorly drafted, but was not properly read. And that is why you should not take licensing carelessly. That is what is at stake when you see your licensing clauses in your contract. The second zone has the royalty calculations. It's like, okay, oh yeah, show me the money. This is where the biggest money is. We already talked about the pro rata model, but there are more targeted strategies being used. The biggest current example is what Spotify did with bundling. I'm going to tell you the full story about that, but here's the full short version of that story. Spotify added audiobooks to its music subscription, and it called it bundle. And this legally reduced what it pays songwriters by nearly half. So a US federal judge said, well, this is technically permitted. By the way, Spotify is one platform you people should watch out for. If you're a Spotify fan, I'm not a Spotify fan, but if you're Spotify fans, be very careful about them. Other tricks you should watch out for is that some platforms have now introduced minimum stream thresholds. So this means a song has to be played for a certain number of times within a specific period before any royalties are paid at all. So for an independent or emerging artist, it means that their music generates thousands of streams but earns literally zero revenue. And then there's the currency conversion issue, where your Nigerian client streams are being calculated at the Naira denominated subscription rate, then converted to dollars at a rate the platform chooses, and then paid out. So at every conversion point, there is an opportunity for value to be lost. And your clients may never even know because most platforms do not break down their currency calculations in royalty streams. Just send you something at the end of a quarter and say, oh, this is what you earned. Now this is an insider tip. Most artists never audit their streaming royalties. Industry data suggests that artists who do audits recover an average of 30% more revenue. 30% is huge. That is free money for us, the lawyers, who know how to find it. Zone 3, the distribution agreement traps. So this is where young lawyers can add the most value immediately, because you come into a room and you totally tell everybody how they should make more money and tell me who will not take you seriously immediately. So when you see a distribution agreement in the contract between an artist and a label, for instance, and the company that places the music on the streaming platforms, the distributor is the middleman between your clients and, say, maybe Spotify, Apple, AudioMac. Let me give you some traps that you should look for. When you see things like perpetual rights, just let all your alarms be going off. Some deals say the distributor retains rights to the music in perpetuity. Perpetuity means forever. Even after the contract ends, the distributor keeps control. The artist can never take their music elsewhere. I have seen in real contracts with Nigerian artists, they'll be like, oh, I want to leave this distributor. It's not giving me proper accounts. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Let me see your contract. And then I'm saying something in perpetuity. I'm like, sorry, bro, you're not going anywhere with this one. Go and sing another one somewhere else. You watch or you read, and then you see something like exclusive distribution clauses. So that these ones will lock an artist into one distributor across all platforms and all territories with no option to use any different distributors for maybe different markets. A distributor that is strong in, say, maybe the US market, for instance, may have zero presence in West Africa. So how are they going to help your music? How are they going to get to the core of your fan base? These are things you should watch out for. Hidden recoupment clauses. So for people that are not very familiar, recoupment just means that the company recovers its upfront investments before the artist sees any royalties. So what that means is if any company invests in your music, you want to sing, okay, sure, we'll get you we'll do a music camp for you. Or we'll pay for this, we'll pay for your production, we'll pay for all of that. What that means is when the money starts coming in, the company will take all their money back first before you start getting any money. But sometimes the agreement allows the company to recoup expenses that were never disclosed or to charge inflated marketing costs. Or they'll say, oh, we paid for this marketing for you for maybe 300,000 naira, when in fact they did not pay for that thing. So you are paying back debt that they actually did not use for you. I call this phantom expenses. Your client is supposedly in debt to the distributor, but for what exactly? If the answer is unclear, then that is a red flag. So, and one of that is one of the things that is increasingly common is the aggregator issues, where your client's distributor goes rogue. They upload content without authorization, they fail to pay on time, they disappear with the money. And because the artist agreement is with the distributor, not with Spotify directly, the artist has no direct recourse against the platform. The intermediary layer creates that vulnerability. Now, the fourth one, content and exclusivity wars. We have seen entire music catalogs pulled from platforms during business disputes. This happened with a major African streaming service. I think that was in 2024, where the artist music, though some artist music was removed because of suspected underpayment between the platform and the right holders. And then now we have the TikTok dimension. We see songs going viral on TikTok, generating massive cultural impact. Like you're seeing Chinese people singing Afrobeats, you're seeing Korean dancers dancing to some random songs that even you as a Nigerian don't know the song exists. But many platforms classify TikTok usage as just promotional, meaning zero payout for the artist. Meanwhile, your song is the soundtrack of a million TikTok videos and you receive nothing. So that is a content right issue that is being litigated right now. There are a lot of litigation going into, what happened to all the money I made from TikTok? And then some people want to finesse you and say, oh no, you didn't make any money you are making money from TikTok. Let me just start telling you people now so that people can stand your ground, to stand on business. A quick word about protecting indigenous music. We're seeing cases where traditional Nigerian musical elements, Yoruba chants, Igbo melodies, high life patterns are being sampled into global dance remixes without permission or compensation. So who owns a traditional folk melody? What rights do communities have when their cultural heritage is commercialized on a global streaming platform? These are questions that Nigerian lawyers will need to start answering in the coming years, because we can't have people come and steal from us, pay us way less than they would ordinarily do, or still not give you any form of recognition for it. That's the worst part. That's the worst part. Let's go to slide 5. Sorry. Go to some real cases and some lessons, I'm going to tell you some real stories. Because law without facts is just theory. We're going to do war stories today. MLC and Spotify. It was in New York. It was May of 2024. 2024 was a very interesting year for music globally, and to be honest, I can't even understand why, because there was so much going on in 2024. Anyway, an organization called MLC filed a lawsuit against Spotify. Now, MLC is the Mechanical Licensing Collective. The US Congress created this body specifically to collect and distribute mechanical royalties. And the reason I'm mentioning the US Congress is so that you would understand how America has decided to actually pay attention to the entertainment industry for a very long time, and it is paying off for them. And we are hoping that we can replicate the same in Nigeria. But back to our story. So the US Congress had created this body to, collect and distribute mechanical royalties. That is the compositional royalties we talked about earlier, from streaming services to songwriters and publishers in the United States. Now, the claim was very straightforward. Spotify had unilaterally and unlawfully reduced its royalty payments to songwriters. So this is what Spotify did. They just step by step. In 2023, they added about 15 hours of audiobook listening per month to its premium subscription. The price did not change. The music catalog did not change. Nothing changed for the consumer, but Spotify then told the US Copyright Royalty Board that, the CRB, which is the government body that sets this royalty rates, that, our premium plan is now a bundled subscription offering because it's included 2 distinct products, which is music and audio books. Why does this matter? Because under the regulations, a bundle pays a lower mechanical royalty rate on the music portion than a standalone music service. So by adding audiobooks that most subscribers have never used and calling it a bundle, Spotify effectively cut what it pays songwriters by nearly 50%. So the industry estimates suggests this saves like Spotify approximately $150 million per year. So in January of 2025, the one judge in Southern District in New York ruled in Spotify's favor. She's like, she even acknowledged that to an ordinary consumer, what Spotify did is not a bundle. She literally wrote that it looks like a 2-for-1 deal. But she said the regulatory language was clear enough to permit it. So now the MLC is now pursuing an appeal. In their filings, they've estimated that if they win on all claims, Spotify would owe an additional 256 million euros, roughly $290 million, just for the period from March 2024 to June of 2025. This case is still very much alive, by the way, so in your spare time, please feel free to go read about it. Now, why should you care about this type of thing in Nigeria? Because this creates a blueprint that other platforms can follow. If Spotify can do it, Apple will come and they will tell you it's one cool innovation. Amazon Music will do it too. And the royalty reduction affects every songwriter globally whose music is streamed on these platforms, and there will be nothing you can do about it. Let's come to familiar grounds. Kiss Daniel. So we all know Kiss Daniel, I want to assume. Before he became a superstar, or before he became the Kiss Daniel that we know today, he was signed to a record label called G Worldwide Entertainment under a 7-year recording and management contract. 7 years. I don't know how old you are now, but add 7 years to it. That's a lot of years. This dispute started 2017 when Kiss tried to leave the label before the contract term expired because he's like, this is not making sense. G Worldwide fought back aggressively. Let me tell you what happened. First, G Worldwide went to court and got an injunction that banned Kiss Daniel from performing during the entire December 20. Like, I'm sure you guys remember that there was a time that nobody knew where Kiss Daniel was. For an artist, December is one of the most lucrative months for live shows. Now imagine being told by a court that you cannot perform, you cannot earn money, you cannot show up at events, just when you're supposed to be making the most money. So for some of us that don't like Kiss Daniel because we think that he doesn't perform, he doesn't go to shows, please extend some grace to the man. He was going through a lot. Secondly, now this one will shock people. G Worldwide had trademarked the name Kiss. The record label owned the trademark on the artist stage name. So Kiss Daniel literally had to change his name from Kiss Daniel to Kiss with double Z, just to keep performing. So imagine a label owning your identity. Now, G Worldwide, I'm sure all of us are already mad at these G Worldwide guys now, but the game is the game, guys. G Worldwide filed a lawsuit totaling 500 million naira, claiming breach of contract and intellectual property infringement. I mean, the label retained Honorable Silk, Dr. Lisa Agbakoba, to prosecute the case. The dispute dragged on for years. It was eventually settled, maybe just last year or something. Kiss Daniel finally reclaimed the master rights to his debut album, New Era, which was one of my favorite albums of his. But only after years of litigation, millions in legal costs, loss of performance revenue, forced name change, even though it still works for him. The lesson is very clear here anyway. A bad contract signed at the beginning of your career can haunt an artist for decades. So that is where young lawyers come in. If there had been competent entertainment counsel involved before that contract was signed, the entire saga could have been avoided. The cost of consulting an entertainment lawyer upfront is a fraction, it's a very tiny fraction of what it costs you to litigate your way out of a bad deal. And I'm very sure we all know this. And I want to believe that it's not all of us that really likes going to fight in courts every day, except for Terry, actually. I know Terry likes going to court. Let's go to the third case, African streaming platforms, the 2024 catalog withdrawal. So now, again, 2024 again. A leading African streaming service experienced widespread catalog withdrawals. So major Nigerian artists had their music pulled from this platform because of disputes, over royalty payments. And the root cause was just broken reporting and audit processes. Rights holders were like, oh, we suspect that we're being underpaid. The platform reporting was not transparent enough for verification. When negotiations stalled, the only leverage available was the nuclear option. Just, you know what, I'm taking down my music. This hurt everybody. The platform lost its content and its users. Artists lost their fans. Fans lost access to the music. It was a lose-lose. There was no winning. But this could have been avoided with three simple contract provisions: proper audit rights, transparent reporting requirements, and a clear dispute resolution mechanism. I just gave you literally my hidden ammunition. Every time I need to just scan through a contract, I don't know if you guys are waylaid like the way I'm usually waylaid, especially when I'm on the streets of Lagos. Oh, please, can you quickly help me read this contract? There's some people you can't say no to. So those are the three things I just browse through just to check for, okay. What's the audit rights? What's the reporting requirements? What's the dispute resolution mechanism? Those first three things, you're good. So when you're drafting or reviewing streaming agreements, always, please, always insist on these three things. They are non-negotiable. So let us go to the Nigerian angle now. Everything we have discussed applies globally, but the Nigerian context adds layers of complexities to it that makes these issues even more urgent for us. The first challenge we have is the currency devaluation. Let's address the elephant in the room, the Naira. When Spotify launched in Nigeria in 2021, Monthly premium subscription was like 900 naira. One person will subscribe and give 5 people or 15 people the login. I'm sure people still do it now. At the time, that was about $2.50 in today's US. Now, this same plan will cost 1,300 naira now, which at today's exchange rate is roughly 82 cents. You can see that the money has gone down. So, streaming platforms pay royalties based on the revenue they collect in each market. So, lower subscription prices means a smaller revenue pool, which means lower per stream payouts. So a song streamed in Lagos generates significantly way less revenue than the same song streamed in London. I hope you guys understand the problem now. Now, a Spotify premium subscription in the UK costs roughly maybe like $16, which is almost 20 times what it costs in Nigeria. So the same platform, the same song, the same artist, completely different revenues per stream. This is why international reach matters. So again, when you're saying that your artists are, they would rather go and do tours in Europe, in the US, please don't blame them. Everybody needs to eat. They'll make way more money from the streams there than they will make in Nigeria. The domestic revenue is not going to work based on the money people use or based on the money people invest in actually putting out this music. So Nigerian artists are fundamentally constrained by our currency. Now, the second challenge is the weak CMO infrastructure. For those who are new to this, again, CMOs stands for Collective Management Organizations. They are the bodies responsible for collecting royalties on behalf of artists and distributing them. So in the US, you have ASCAP, BMI, CSAC. In the UK, you have PRS. In Nigeria, you have COSON. That's the Copyright Society of Nigeria and the Musical Copyright Society Nigeria. Now, the challenge is that the CMO infrastructure has historically been plagued by overlapping mandates, like governance disputes, poor distribution. Many artists never even receive publishing royalties that they are owed because the collection systems are not functioning efficiently in Nigeria. The good news is that the new CMR, the new collection or collective management regulations from January of 2025 by the Nigerian Copyright Commission now are aimed at fixing this. New governance requirements, standardized distribution rules. But like we're seeing now that implementation takes time. We're seeing that when, again, a few weeks ago, from like 3 or 2 weeks ago, we could see all of that dispute if we were following how people were considering, oh, please just, we need to know how you're going to distribute this money to us, blah, 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 all of those things. Unfavorable contracts. Now, this is the most preventable challenge. So many Nigerian artists sign contracts without any legal advice because you don't want to pay lawyer 10% or you don't want to pay lawyer at all. Signing away their master recordings, agreeing to 80-20 splits in favor of the label. Some people will tell you, oh, I just want to blow. We've heard that a lot. I just let me blow. I don't even care about the money. I just want to have fame. Oh, how are you going to feed? Doesn't make sense. They don't understand recruitment processes. They don't understand territory restrictions. They don't even have exit provisions. They just want to sign. Oh, let me just, let them just hear my voice on TV or on radio. Okay, bro. Case Daniel's case was not a unique case. It's not one case. We have cases like Cynthia Morgan. Cynthia Morgan had disputes over access to her own social media accounts after leaving a label. Ron Town's label obtained an injunction preventing him from performing, including an international tour. So every year we'll see a pattern every year. But here's the opportunity. This Copyright Act, our own Copyright Act of 2022 has strengthened performer rights. So more artists are demanding split sheet now. They're using ISRCs. So ISRCs are international standard recording codes. They are insisting on proper metadata Awareness is arising, thank God. The market is hungry for competent lawyers. Let me give you a bonus for litigation strategy, quick hits. So I'm just going to give you tips for when you are actually in the fight. Forum selection. So where you sue matters enormously. So for instance, Lagos courts give you speed and familiarity with Nigerian entertainment law. And I mean, that's for very obvious reasons. London courts gives you enforcement power across Commonwealth jurisdictions. New York courts give you access to aggressive discovery rules that can force platforms to open their books. So, like, we need to see exactly how much this thing paid out. So, choose based on where the defendant's assets are and what you need to prove. And let me just give you another hint now. Most of the platforms in Nigeria now, because obviously they know that, oh, we need to make more money. So they push their catalogs outside of Nigeria now. So you have distributors that are actually doing deals with platforms in America, in the UK. Use that against them when you're in dispute. Leverage their own locations against them because they have laws that would actually enforce what you're asking for. You also need to preserve evidence at every point. In streaming disputes, evidence is digital and it disappears very fast. So the moment you suspect a dispute, start preserving. You screenshot playlists showing your client's music, download stream count records, save the payment histories, capture algorithm placements. Like, so all of this can vanish like so fast or be altered once the other side knows litigation is coming. Then also always seek for interim relief. You can seek emergency orders to freeze revenue. You can remove content from platforms, even though that's it's like throwing a nuclear bomb when you could just, try to do some arbitration. You can suspend accounts. Nigerian courts have granted this in entertainment disputes recently. So the key is moving fast and showing the court that irreparable harm is coming or is occurring to your clients, which in streaming cases often mean your client's revenue is being misappropriated in real time. And let us be very realistic. We have seen the way Nigerian artists spend money. Those people don't have, well, most of them don't have savings, they don't have investments elsewhere other than that music. So imagine situations where they can't even earn from the music that they eat from. So it's always a problem. Then you know settlement leverage, know what platforms and labels actually fear. It is not your legal arguments, it is public relations disasters, basically, like regulatory scrutiny, artist boycotts. If you can credibly threaten any of this, your settlement leverage multiplies. So most streaming disputes settle for 60 to 80% of the claimed amount, but only if you know how to apply pressure correctly. So this will be your playbook. We're coming to the close. Let me just leave you with these 5 things, 5 practical things, and 1 career challenge. So audit every royalty clause. Whenever you're reviewing an agreement involving streaming revenue, please make sure you understand whether the royalty provision covers both masters royalties and publishing royalties. If the answer is only one, there is money being left on the table, so you ask questions. So sometimes it's good not to put all your money in one basket. You can decide that, oh, okay, you can distribute my songs. I'll go get another publisher so I can get like different platform or different organizations handling my music business for me. The takeaway 2 would be insist on split sheets. ISRCs, I mean, ISRCs are like, now it has become basic because anytime you upload the music, they need to allocate one of these codes to each song. So each song now have their own unique specific codes and metadata. So now, this is boring, to be honest. This is boring administrative stuff, but this is where the money leaks happen. A split sheet records who wrote the song and what percentage each person gets. This ISRC, for each recording, it lets you track your song on each platform. The metadata is the information attached to a file that tells platforms who should get paid. Now, if any of these are missing or wrong, your client's money goes to someone else or disappears entirely. So you insist on them in every deal. Takeaway 3, you should watch for bundling and recoupment, like I have said. Spotify. Basically, watch out for Spotify, to be honest. Takeaway 4, learn the Copyright Act of 2022. Let that be your Bible if you want to do entertainment law. And the CMO regulations. You must know these two things. They are not abstract provisions. They are the legal basis for every argument you will make on behalf of your client. So you need to know them cold. Number 5 is never ever sign without exit clauses and audit rights. Never let your clients sign a distribution agreement without an exit clause. I do not care how good the advance is. They're giving him $2 billion. I do not care how excited the artist is. I know it will be very hard to convince an artist that, oh, they want to give you 2 billion, but that bot will deal with it in future. That's what the artist will tell you. They don't care about how much pressure the label is putting on. If the agreement is perpetual with no exit, your client is trapped. If there are no audit rights, your clients can never verify they are being paid correctly. So this is a very non-negotiable clause that you should pay attention to. So here's my challenge to every young lawyer in this room. There's a skill gap in this industry right now, and what clients need, they need streaming economics knowledge. Cross-border enforcement skills, digital forensics basics, platform relationship management. Law school did not teach us any of that. So this means every lawyer who learns it has an immediate competitive advantage. So you need to leverage that. The hot specializations right now, oh, bro, platform compliance laws, AI and music rights, blockchain and NFT disputes, all of those things, creator economic contracts, they are not popular. Even data privacy for artists, these are not popular things. Pick one, build your expertise on it, and that client will come to you, I assure you. We have artists, creating with AI. We have record labels putting AI clauses in their contracts telling you, oh, yeah, you give us this song, but if in future we use AI to recreate it, that money doesn't go to you. As how now? Why would the money not go to me? So all of those things, you need to pick one, study it well, learn it properly, so that you're not pushed to the sidelines. Build your own expertise. This streaming revolution is not coming, it is already here. So the question is not whether entertainment law is a viable career anymore. The question is, will you be representing, oh, am I a platform lawyer, or am I a creator's lawyer, or am I just going to be watching from outside? Just know which side you're on. I know which side I'm on. Even though sometimes I'm in support of capitalism, but I represent the creators. And I need more lawyers to stand with what is right and just. I hope I have not bored you with my presentation or taken too long of your time. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. You have tools. Please, I hope they can share the slides with anybody that wants it. Please, I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jumai.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We were not bored. We enjoyed your presentation thoroughly.
Okay.
I speak for myself. Yes, we are seeing you.
Okay.
I speak for myself, and I believe I speak for a larger section of the attendees too. So we've been calling for questions. We have a few of them. I have some myself. So I will begin with mine. I have just two. So after I take mine, I will take that of Mr. Babangida Ibrahim Birema. He has a very interesting question. So the first question I have concerns Streams. I was surprised to see that a million Spotify streams gives about 1,600 to 4,800. Then Apple 4,000 to 6,000 for YouTube, 400 to 1,200. Boomplay 800 to 2,400. I'm really surprised. So 10 million streams, for example, would give about 16,000 naira to 48,000 naira. So, for example, Unavailable by Davido has about 200 million streams currently on Spotify.
Yeah,
So are we saying it made just about 150,000 to 200,000? Okay.
No, I'm saying that in Nigeria, if you have 200 million streams in only Nigeria, there's a problem.
Okay.
You have a problem.
Wow.
So if you make 200 million streams in the UK, for instance, that's considerably way more. That's 20 times more than what you'll be earning in Nigeria. So I'm saying this is why artists push their music outside of Nigeria now.
Okay.
This is why they would rather go and tour in Europe than do 10 cities in Nigeria, because the numbers don't add up. And I also said that people, if you pay for your Spotify subscription, for instance, now there's people that's calling you to say, please, do you have Spotify? Please, can you give me your password? So you have 20 people using one Spotify account. How is the artist going to make money? It's not going to happen. Do you understand? So the 200 million streams doesn't entirely mean it's just Nigeria. It's like worldwide, and they are really hoping that more of that comes from outside Nigeria, to be honest, than in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Dubai. We understand why Burna Boy doesn't really rate us Nigerians that much. He doesn't get so much money from it.
He makes sure to remind you that I don't make money in Nigeria. Yeah.
Definitely. So I see where he has been coming from.
Yeah.
So there's another question flowing from the answer you've given from the first question. What has been done? Or are there people who are currently fighting for an increase for Nigerian artists and by extension African artists? Since we own Afrobeats, Amapiano, and these should I say types of songs or music taking the world by storm, do we have persons trying to fight for bigger payouts for Nigerian and African artists?
We have advocates. But this is more an advocacy question than a legal question, because for legally, the only solution that could be preferred is, let us build our own platforms and let us make them popular. And that is something I really admire Rema for, because he always makes sure to say, let us make our own thing our thing. Let us make our awards, instead of you looking for a BET award that is popularly for Black Americans. Let us actually pay attention to our own Headies Awards and make it great and make it a standard, so that when you go to a BET or you go to the Grammys and they don't give you an award, you don't start crying. Because it doesn't do anything for you anyway, because to be honest, they don't rate you. Let's just be very honest. Because they carry the whole of African music and put it inside one category and tell you that it is Afrobeat. What do you mean it's Afrobeat? Even inside in Nigeria, do you know how many genres of music there is? So there are people that are advocating for, let's build our own platforms, let's distribute our own music. However, does the economical reality of Nigerians allow for this? So if we say we're going to build our own platform, would anybody in Nigeria pay 5,000? I pay $19. Yeah, $19.99. That's $20 for my Apple subscription every month. How much is $20? How many people will pay that every month?
That's about 35,000.
Why would I pay 35,000 naira for Apple Music in Nigeria every month?
Close to 500K a year.
Yes. So the economical reactions doesn't allow for it. So even if they try to say, let's subsidize this, let us build our own platforms, how are Nigerians going to receive it? Can they afford it? Is this something they would like to do? It's part of why Netflix packed their bags and left Nigeria. We're not even making the money that people are making us pour into this country. Because again, 50 people have one Netflix password. Do you understand? So
Yes, yes.
it's more a moral situation than a legal situation at this point.
Very clear.
Yeah.
So I move to the next question. I have just two questions. So you said Kis Daniel regained his master's in 2025. There are a
I'm
lot
not
of
Miss Daniel's lawyer.
serious
Oh.
students. There are a
Huh?
lot of there are a lot of serious students on this call. They
Uh,
might think masters is LLM. So
no,
what
I'm
is
sure. I
masters
try
in
to
this
explain. So
context?
the masters are so master recording. So
Okay.
that is the real original recording. That's what your masters
Okay.
are. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thank you very much, Jumai. So I would
yeah.
move to the question asked by Mr. Babangida Ibrahim Birema. It's a very insightful question, one that
Okay.
I'm very impressed with. I'm trying to go back to where the question is. So Mr. Babangida said, with the current tax laws, NRS/FIRS, digital taxation on fintech, which includes Spotify and others, and other digital platforms, how are the streaming farming? Okay, how do the streaming, let me help him rephrase, how do the streaming farming companies file returns and pay taxes in Nigeria? Those people who
Hmm.
run stream farms, how do they pay taxes since they streamed all the songs themselves in a
There's
single room?
no so um first of all, for every time I get like a publishing statement and I say, oh, I need to get paid, especially for the UK, the platform already like withholds your tax. Do you understand? They kind of like already do the calculation because again, they don't want to be on the other side of the law. So they were like, oh, there's a 15% withholding tax on this money. So we'll send you all of this money. However, we're taking out our share and 15% tax. So now what that does sometimes is that you get taxed twice because then even your um income tax is is effective as soon as money enters your account and all of that. But for Nigeria, what usually happens is because most of these monies are paid in advance. Again, there's a distributor that has given you $200,000 already. What usually happens is that's the distributor's headache to pay tax. But what I have now found that has been going on lately is getting letters from LIRS or FIRS to say, oh, you made 600 million, you owe us 123 million. And I'm like, how? From where? How do you know I made this? Go meet the person that distributed my music. Do you understand? Because what they gave me was an advance. If you want to calculate, say, maybe a percentage of the advance that I got, you can do that. However, I know that also when you're signing up on platforms, at least in the US, they make you actually fill your W-2. The W-2 is your tax forms. So they deduct it from source. What you can then do is to get tax auditors to see if they're deducting the right thing or they're not eventually. So for Nigeria, I know it's not automated yet. I know it's something that they're trying to do. And I know that we should, guys, pay your tax, to be honest, because if you want the country to work, you need to pay your tax. However, monitor what you're paying because these people are like NEPA. They just be, giving you aggregated bill that they don't even know where it came from. Because why are you telling me I made something that I did not make? I have a very good example of an artist that did not even have an account number. And you sent him. How do you know what I made? Where is the money? I don't even have an account. So they're like, oh yeah, just come to our office and let's discuss it, and we'll know how much you will then pay. It's Terry, there's a lot to be fixed. I kind of like wish you all the best with all of these things, but I hope I answered his question. Most of these things are deducted from source. So what you should watch out for is actually not to be taxed twice. Double taxation, basically, as well.
Thank you very much, Jumai.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. I believe you've answered this question very well, Mr. Babangida. Okay. So I move to the next person. This question is from, oh, okay, no, this is just a submission. Or should I say an intervention from either Miss or Mrs. Ujudo Akara. She says
Yeah.
Nigerian streams are far less valuable than streams from the US and the UK. It's so unfair. She feels like fighting already. The system is rigged from the source or from source by the original creators of the system. I agree with her. You said the same
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, so again, I keep referring to the fact that 20 people are using one login. So when when a platform, but again, it is the economical reality of Nigerians. Because why would I go and spend that much money every month because I want to listen to music? When I can just go to see, that's why AudioMac is actually a very great platform for Nigerians, but that is also why international distributors don't really rate AudioMac. AudioMac is a very cheap platform. Boomplay, same thing. That's what they're trying to do. Uh, it- but you make considerably way less on these two platforms. Do you get? Because their subscription is not expensive. It's very affordable. So more affordable means less money, to be honest. That's basically what it is. It's simple maths. It's not a matter of it's rigged against us. It is our own reality that is rigged against us, and it's our reality that was supposed to change. Do you understand?
Okay. Thank you very much, Jumai.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the next question.
Mhm.
Somebody asked, that's Odunayo Akisoya, asked you to explain what publishing means. What
For
publishing
publishing.
means. Yes.
I kind of explained it. I think it was in like the second or third slide, and it is
Yes.
basically just composer royalty. So everybody that worked on the music, on the actual composition of that music. So from the beats, the progression, the chords, to songwriting, basically all the performers on that song. And that's why for you find out that for producers, they try very hard to make sure that they get their publishing percentages because ordinarily um pu- uh producers are entitled to 50% of publishing. So there's 100% pot. 50% goes to the producer because they make the music, the actual music. Then between the songwriters, the artists that did the vocals, all of that, everybody else shares the remaining 50%. So this is the same person I asked about the CMO infrastructure, right? So CMO, collective management organization. So these bodies are the people that are actually responsible for gathering that money for artists. So in Nigeria now, for COSON and what are they called? The Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria, they are the ones in charge of this. They haven't been great, let's be very honest, but I can see that there's a lot of advocacy going on right now, and people are becoming way more interested in knowing how the monies in Nigeria is collected. Because let me give you, just in case you don't know, for every single time your song is played in a club, radio and TV is going too far. In a club, you're supposed to get paid a percentage. Do you understand? So all of these things are supposed to be collected by the CMO. So by Coson, but we see that, or we actually found out that they collect that money and they don't give the artists. It's not a lot of money, but it is still their money. So you should always advocate for it. We should always advocate for a system where everybody actually pays for everything that they use. If we are able to collect all of the monies, if people actually pay for all of these things, we find out that maybe there will be more money on the table for our Nigerian artists in Nigeria. So we don't have them running out every time. Or when you're trying to book a Nigerian artist, they'll tell you that their money is 500 million. I'm like, you people are wicked, though. You people are very wicked. But I mean, basically, the CMO infrastructure in Nigeria should really be worked on, and then people should pay more attention to them, basically, because
Thank you
the
very
money is
much.
there.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jumai. So, Olajide Onosoya has a question. Ujudu Akara also she has a further intervention.
Okay.
She says she would advise every aspiring and every entertainment lawyer to learn the process of music distribution and publishing, at least to try to publish one song to Spotify using DistroKid, TuneCore, or any of the publishing platforms. If you learn this process, you would understand how royalties accumulate from source, and then you can bring suitable legal solutions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next question is from Olajide Onosoyan, the CMO infrastructure with a question mark in front.
No,
What
that's
does
what I
the
just explained.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
that's why I just
okay, okay,
explained to him. And
okay.
thank God that the Nigerian Copyright Commission, they're working really hard to fix this. Thank God that people are paying more attention to this. So again, maybe we should also start lobbying our National Assembly to pay more attention to the entertainment industry, because it's quite sad that, yes, I was born on a Friday. It's quite sad that the only time Nigeria seems to be enjoyable now and that everybody wants to come into Nigeria is in December. And literally last year I had to ask that, aside going to club every day, what do people do in Nigeria? Because you can't do anything. You can't go to places where you want to see because there's insecurity, there's all of that. Now, what has the government done to actually take advantage of the entertainment industry? Do you understand? Why? Okay, there's a lot of people trooping into the country at this time of the year just because they want to come and hang out with our Afrobeat legends. How are we taking advantage of it? What are we doing to fix it? How are we trying to protect our artists' rights? How are we trying to make them more money? How all of those things, these are actually questions that needs to be asked, and that needs to actually be topics of debates in our National Assembly.
Thank you very much, Jumai.
You're welcome.
We appreciate all your responses. We appreciate your wonderful presentation. It was
Thank
insightful.
you. Thank you for
I
having
made
me.
I made a lot of notes which I will go back to yes. So I speak for Uju Akara, Mohammed Kabi, Abubakar, Joy, Teresa, Ine Naya Fashino, and my senior at the Ikeja Bar, Mr. Obi Anuye. They all want the slides. So the slides will be
Okay.
sent. Yes, yes, it will be sent to whoever wants it as slide only. But it would also be on a link on YouTube. It would also be on YouTube, so you can always access the entire proceeding from start to finish after now. But if you want the slide personally, we would share it with you. Mr. Obi Anuye, I promise to share with you, my senior at the Ketaba, and every other person who wants it. I will get it from Juma and share with you. So then, Inenaya Fashino Adeoti Adejuyigbe also mentioned that they thoroughly enjoyed, and others,
I'm
quite a
glad.
number of other persons, mentioned that they thoroughly enjoyed the presentation. They
I'm
weren't
glad.
bored, and many of them are inspired too. So with this, I would like to call on Damilola to
Thank
take.
you.
Yeah, you're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Wellington. Thank you, Miss Fabui. It's been
Welcome.
a very exciting session. There have been a lot of feedback and comments. We've had a really good time, actually, really good time. To everyone asking, and please, Miss Fabui, come and join the SLP. I mean, we'd love to have you register as a member of the NBA-SLP. Would really, Mr. Terry Wellington will communicate that. He would really love to have you in the section as
I will
well.
do that.
You for
Do
the
my
amount of value you brought to the conversation, and for everyone asking for the slide. Yes, after every webinar we send out a thank you email. So the slides will be embedded in the thank you email that you will receive after this webinar. So everyone is going to get the slides. To catch a replay of this session, you can check YouTube. We're live streaming, and the video will be live on YouTube. You can go back to watch it. So once again, we have repeatedly posted in the chat box about the SLP conference. Early bird is closing in about 3 days or thereabouts. Please take advantage of it, save some money so you can really have a good time in Lagos. Register for the conference. We hope to see you in Lagos. And yes, thank you once again, everyone, for taking the time, for spending part of your afternoon with us on a Thursday. We look forward to seeing you again next week when another subcommittee in the TMT committee will bring in another exciting and really knowledge-packed series your way. Thank you, Mr. Wellington, for a very beautiful moderation. Thank you so much. Thank you to all our participants who stayed on the call throughout. Thank you once again, Ms. Faboyi. We cannot thank you enough. It's been knowledge-packed. Thank you for graciously volunteering that we can have your slides. That's very gracious of you. Thank you so much. Once again, register for the SLP conference. Be a member of the SLP. This and many more are the things we'll bring your way across the different committees in the SLP, and particularly the TMT committee. My name is Damilola Victoria Alabi. I'm the Secretary of the Technology, Media, and Telecommunications Committee of the MBA section on legal practice. And thank you for making the time to join us. In case, for those who are joining for the first time, if you have questions about your CPD point, don't worry. Your details were already captured at the point of registration. You will get your CPD certificate in your email in due time. Thank you once again, everyone. We hope to see you next week. And on this note, we're saying thank you and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you and bye-bye.